9 of the Enlightened Changemakers series, and I'm thrilled to have Anna Edwards here today as our special guest. Anna Edwards is an intuitive coach and channel, and so much more. As an intuitive coach and channel, Anna's work sits at the junction of business, spiritual growth, and soul purpose. She is passionate about supporting her clients through periods of rapid change and expansion. This is done with a mix of practical, actionable business strategy and a healthy dose of energetic work. As a psychic, channel, and healer, Anna uses tools such as the Akashic Records to assist clients to align with their big soul level purpose and then move forward with clarity. We are about to have a fantastic experience here tonight, so I would really love to welcome our beautiful guest tonight. Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's awesome being here. Very excited.
You are welcome. You are welcome. And so let's get started. I've got lots of stuff to dive into. I do want to ask you though, when did it all start for you? All of this knowing of who you really are.
I knew exactly who I was when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
And then by 7, I had squashed it and suppressed it and went, oh, that's not what people do. Okay. And really hid it and denied it for years. And
did your parents have something to do with that too, or they didn't know?
I had imaginary friends that they just talked about. One of my best friends was called Jackie, and she was invisible. And I was like, oh, okay, so you can't see her, and you call that imaginary friend, so that's what she is. But it wasn't a figment of my imagination. She was a great excuse to get up to mischief, because sometimes Jackie and I would be playing and we'd do things, and then other times I'd think, oh, I'd like to do that. I could blame Jackie if I get in trouble. Jackie it wasn't Jackie sometimes. Sometimes it was Anna. I always knew was the little kid who made potions and lotions under the birch tree, and really since 2012 has been a process of coming back to that real me.
Yeah.
Because I knew exactly who I was, and then life helped me forget. And this has just been the remembering.
It's interesting, isn't it? And as you know, and as many of the people watching will know, it's that experience of life where we have forgotten that gives us all of the depth, I guess, to really be able to help people from an understanding of being a human as well. So it's a necessary journey.
It is. You do everything the hard way so you can find a better way. And
I know, right?
And that's how you can help other people.
It's exactly true. So Anna, so many people talk about finding our balance of the masculine and the feminine. How do you find that this relates to business? Because I know that you help people with this in their business.
So where do I start? For me personally, I went into business very intuitively initially, and just let's just see how it goes. And things took off, and that was great. And my first business thrived. And then after a while, I had my second business. I was like, right, I'm going to do things properly this time. And I took all the courses, and I did all the things, and I took all the advice. And it worked, but it was hard, and it was a push uphill, and there were financial limits. I just couldn't get past this threshold financially. It was a good threshold, but it was still. And eventually I came to realize that the way I did things the first time was what was working for me, what was natural for me, whereas most coaching business, traditional business advice is very masculine. And there's a lot of hustle, and there's a lot of push, and there's a lot of structure, and there's a lot of how it should be. And that does not work for me. If you're too feminine, then it doesn't go anywhere. and it just floats, and you just float around, and it's like, oh, this feels great. Where are my clients? And it turns into an all-consuming, expensive hobby, which is lots of fun. But
it feels good, but it
feels great. It feels great. So I was talking to Tamsin Young during the week, and she was actually talking similar concept to what I do about. She talks about money from an energetic and practical point of view. Again, the balance of the two. How the riverbank is the masculine and the water is the feminine, is the flow.
Oh, I love that.
And I've used that analogy myself too. I want to acknowledge her as well. And it's because without the structure and the somewhere to go, where does the feminine flow? So with business, even I'd probably take the river analogy one step further to an irrigation system. So if you want your business to do certain things and go a certain way, then you plan for it. And you build the pipes, and you build the infrastructure and the strategy, and you plan the direction of where you want things to go. And then how you actually get there is the water, and it is that feminine in the moment, following the impulse, following your intuition. But it has to have some structure behind it, otherwise you. And you're gone, and that's not useful. It's got to serve a purpose. So, there's got to be both, and they have to be in harmony. And sometimes, for certain tasks, you might need more masculine in there. You might need more structure for your systems and your processes. For your planning, there might need to be more feminine, because at the moment the energy is shifting so fast. Like what's happening globally is a little bit intense, and even day by day, hour by hour, you may have the energy for it, you may not. So I'm actually finding with my planning, I thought, well, that's what I might want to do at the start of the week, and then by Wednesday there's what's going on. By Wednesday lunchtime there's something else going on, but there's still got to be a foundation underneath it. So,
absolutely. Things are shifting, and even goals, I just can't really get my head around doing them the old way. And even what are you planning for the next 5 years? Where will you be in 5 years? I'm like, I really don't know, but I know what my big vision is, and I'm putting things in place to achieve that, and the rest of it is whatever happens.
And at the moment, I don't think, especially any of us in this line of work, I don't think any of us are really thinking quite big enough for where our people behind us are actually planning on sending us. And if we knew, we'd probably freak out and hell no, I am not doing that.
We're probably better off just going day by day on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Like otherwise you get overwhelmed, and it's finding that, and that's where the feminine masculine balance is important, because it's trusting that when you put your foot out into the mist, it will land on the next paver, and that even if the next paver actually, it's next to me, and that one's over there, well, this seems like a wonky path, but actually they will send you the fastest way. Oh, that's exciting.
Possum on the roof.
Yes, that'll do it. Yes, sometimes the squiggliest direction is actually the fastest way, and that's where the analogy of water is great, because it's it finds the fastest way down.
Absolutely, and it makes its way around the blocks, and it's and it's a really good analogy, because we're really being called to trust. You can't plan and control everything. Actually, people have never been able to, but the frustration of it all is creating anxiety and frustration. So it's just a really better way, really,
Yeah.
to really trust that pathway will be there. I listened to Abraham Hicks and Esther Abraham tells a story sometimes about when Esther and Jerry used to go out to this river, and it would look like he was walking on water because he would just walk across the river. And she said, "How do you do that?" And he's like, "Well, there's pebbles under it where my feet go. There's stones." But whenever she tried it, she would fall in because he'd been doing it for so long. He trusted that the rocks or the stones would be there. I mean, they were obviously there under the water, and he trusted they'd be there and that he wouldn't slip off. She didn't have that trust. She was in the river every time. But when you can trust that next step is going to come, and as intuitive as you and I are, even we get caught up on that some days where we're like, okay, I'm really going to have to draw on all my strength to trust, because right now in this whatever's happening, I just can't see the next step.
It's really hard. And go back to it, especially at the moment, the rug has been completely pulled out of everyone in some way, shape, or form. Some of it was fast and swift enough to kind of land on her feet a bit like, oh, what? Other people, they're just like splash.
Absolutely.
And had a really hard landing. So it's, it's always, happy thought your way out of it. It's not as simple as that. For some people, there are real upheavals going on. But for most of it's often I always think of any time there's a complete clusterfuck going on, I'm being redirected in a major way.
Absolutely.
And the bigger the debacle, the stronger and we're going over there, Anna. Because otherwise,
dear.
The little shakes and then the big ones. And this has been a big everyone.
Globally, there certainly have been incredible shifts over the last few months, so energetically and physically. So what impact have you noticed that this is having on people's businesses and their business strategy?
I think one of the amazing things that is coming out of it is innovation. People are actually taking stock of, where was I going? What was I trying to do? Is it of value? Is it on purpose? Is it really what I want? Things like this really cause reevaluation of values as much as anything. And if you're poised and ready to innovate and think creatively, there are people who are going to thrive in this sort of environment. It's easier said than done sometimes, but there's a lot of opportunity, and there's one thing I've noticed is a big call for positive leadership too. And that's one thing I'm also seeing that is wonderful, is how many people on Facebook and social media in some form or another saying, this is my skill set, I'm sharing of myself because I would like to be of service, and this is what I know. If I can help in any way, get in touch. And it's not coming from that sales pitchy point of view. It's actually just people wanting to serve.
And that's very feminine energy, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, and the all ships rise together type of situation. That I'm seeing a lot of that in my sphere anyway. I mean, everyone's.
Yeah, me too. And and even just locally, but also in the bigger business leaders too, like people like Mark Boris and Simon Sinek, and they're really just encouraging people to trust and be well and take little actions. And it's just really nice that everybody, not everyone, it's really nice that that it has brought people together, and it is what a lot of people are saying. We're in the same ocean, but we're all in different boats, and we're all supporting the boat next to us, kind of thing.
And also the importance of looking after your own boat, as it were. And some days you're great, some days you're not, and honouring that and accepting that, and
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the guy. The guy talks about acceptance being, or lack of acceptance being the main problem. It's like, I feel really sad. The problem is not being sad. The problem is not being okay with being sad.
With things, yes, absolutely.
I am stressed. That's understandable.
Yes.
Can I get to a point where I'm okay with being stressed?
Yeah, and that's okay, and just accept it, because the non-acceptance of it makes you even more stressed. Yeah, and so the changes in the economy and the ocean and also energy have really been affecting us. We were just talking before we started about how so many of us were kind of grounded for 2 or 3 days over the weekend, and definitely energetic shifts, but it's really had an impact on everybody personally. So what do you think is fundamental to maintaining well-being during any change or challenge?
Grounding within yourself and maintaining your own vibration. So when you're communicating in any form, one of the messages that kept coming through in all my readings with people, okay, things are changing, things are shifting, and people are going, do I go here? Do I follow there? I think I'm trying to follow the intuition, and it's telling me 12 different things. So what am I meant to do? And the answer kept being, it's not what you say, it's not what you do, it's who you are. So your unique vibration shines through no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, if your vibration is stressed or anxious or in fear, that is going to come through in all your communications, whether they're visual, written, verbal, whatever. So it's actually coming back to that place of being centered, coming from a place of love, and having harmony and balance in your own system. Then that comes out through everything else, and you create from a place of ease. You create from a place of balance. One thing that I probably need to do more of, but is actually connecting, say, with your heart center and your field of your heart. And it's like a torus field, which is like a giant donut, and it's the energy from your heart. Is it heart math? I think people talk about similar to this. So the actual electromagnetic field of your heart, if you run the energy out your head and then up your feet and then out your head and up into your feet.
Sorry.
It's like an infinity symbol, but in 3D.
Yeah.
If you're running that energy and keeping it moving freely and regularly, not only are you putting energy out, you're allowing energy to come back in.
Yeah.
So it's that constant cycle of in and out, in and out, in and out, which creates a balance. And that flow, and that is a positive, outward, heart-centered energy field. And that's what people will interact with. If you're coming from fear, you've got this tiny little, really contracted aura. When you're making decisions, it's like, does this decision feel like I have expansion in my body or contraction, as a fundamental way to make a choice of, will I do this or will I do that? And there's lots of ways, everyone's got their, some people it's meditation, others it's a bath, others it's, like for me, it's working with my energy. I can sit in all the baths I like, but unless I've actually sat and, held onto a crystal and grounded and anchored up, I'm scattered. So
I'm a bit the same. I need to have that physical kind of work
Yeah.
But the other thing with the energy too is that you also attract the same energy back. So if you are in that energy of fear, you will collect that community around you as well, and you will stay shrunk and you will stay in low energy. So it's better for you, it's better for everyone. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks, maintaining your vibration looks like something different for everyone. That's where it's hard.
Yeah.
Some people, it's got to be really vigorous exercise. Other people, it's yoga. It's what works for you. It's more, are you doing it? Is actually the question.
Do what works for you, and are you doing
it? There's a thing that's actually doing the thing.
And
it's not what
and
you do the thing.
And that kind of leads us to the next question, which is, what's one thing that you think would help to make people's lives easier when their life and business is changing rapidly? And I think grounding and that energy work really would be one of the answers.
It would be one of the fundamental answers. Taking it one step at a time, one decision at a time, and keeping it simple, and looking for that sense of expansion, and not worrying. If you can, or if you're worrying, hang on, run the worst case scenario to the end of they sort of the fear planning. It's like, well, if this happens, then this would happen, then that, and you get to the end and you realize, oh, it's not that bad, or oh yeah, and the world will end. Oh well. And then you can get back on with living and
get back on with the present moment.
It's like, because it's so easy to get caught in this cyclic loop of mental noise. It's so easy. But it is. But awareness, just awareness of yourself and your energy, and whether is it coming from love?
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And I mean,
at the moment, they're the two big choices. Yeah.
And even as energy workers, we've got to check in and be aware all the time too. And many of the tools that we use and that we teach our clients don't always seem that complicated. They seem quite simple. But when you're in that moment of that shrunken energy and in that fear, you need something fast, you need something quick to bring your awareness back. And so, those grounding exercises and those energy exercises are really important, because it's only your lack of awareness that will get you carried off into the end of the world.
Especially if you are intuitive. Is it even mine? Is this feeling I'm having? I'm feeling really. Is it mine? No. Oh,
that's the first question to ask, right?
Yes. Is it even mine? Yes, it is mine. Okay, well, let's deal with it then.
Let's deal with it.
And you can never underestimate something. So taking your shoes off and going and standing on the grass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leaning on a tree, leaning on it. I mean, you might want to go hug a tree. I quite like hugging trees. If you want to be more subtle, just lean on it. And it will take it all for you, and you don't even have to do anything. Really simple thing.
I love standing out on the grass and looking at the stars. It's really comforting. Yeah.
And if you're stuck in a house with someone who's
annoying,
in fear. I'm an introvert. I'm trapped in a house with a couple of other people. I love them dearly, but some personal time sometimes.
Oh gosh.
Was because put a bubble up, or I mean, I'm not a huge one for protection, but sometimes if someone's in there, like, no, take the time for you and the space for you that you need.
You just need to do it. Exactly. And so with all of this talk about fear and the effect that it has on us, mentally and physically, what else is there that has a significant impact on our ability to expand and accept change with ease?
I would say in the collective at the moment, it's probably grief.
Yeah.
So early on, when everything started to go pear-shaped, there's lots of fear. And then as everyone started to get locked down and realities changed and jobs went poof into thin air, and
Yeah.
social circles vanished and outings vanished, there's huge grief. And that's
Yeah.
actually perfectly valid. Like I think a lot of the time we think of grief as the thing that happens when somebody dies. But
Yeah.
there is, any time that there's loss that you feel, anything you're attached to that you lose,
Yeah.
there is grief. And there's trains of thought, to live life well, you have no attachments. And that's great. But back in the real world, we are attached to our Sunday walk, or we are attached to the coffee shop down the road that's now shut, or seeing our family and friends that we now can't see. And
that is a grieving process.
yeah.
I think a lot of people are, they put it aside. They go, I can't be grieving. No one's, my family hasn't died or whatever.
Yeah.
But all of those losses are still losses.
They are still losses. Basic structure and routine in every day.
Yeah.
If you've got a 9-to-5 job and you're used to getting up and you do this and you do that and have this for lunch and then you get home and then we do this and that's gone.
Yeah.
That's the foundation of your life. Like, you're allowed to be shitty as fuck. That's gone.
Yeah.
And your job may not be coming back. If you're grieving, that's fair. And it comes back down to accepting what is. Like, there's so many people, like I would say, all of us on some level are experiencing grief for something.
Yeah.
And becoming familiar with the grief cycle is probably really, beneficial. I lost both my parents a few years ago, and it was like learning about the grief cycle was so supportive for me, because I got to see my own anger, my own denial, my own this happening, because it's not linear. You pop it. They draw it as a curve, but in actual fact, you go like this, and it comes in giant waves where you think you're fine, and then it smacks you down. And I was able to observe myself as I wrote it out, but also my family, my other close, my brother and sister, when we lost mum, and mum as well when we lost dad.
And you would have all been grieving differently.
Completely opposite, inappropriate patterns, and it's because it's messy and it's life. But it meant that because I could say, oh, you're having a denial moment and you're having an anger moment and I'm having okay, I could step out of this and I could support them in the way that they needed. And I think for people with, in business, you're also a leader and you've got a community. And if you're aware of the grief cycle and what you're going through, you can then be aware of what your staff may be going through, or your clients and customers are going through, and can support them in the way that they need at the time that they need it, which is probably not when you do, and not when it's going to be easy. And there's huge demands on social, emotional support over the next few years. Well, there you go. Next few years, apparently. I was going to say next few years, as people come to terms with the pattern and the changes.
Absolutely. And I think for those of us that have been able to, move forward from it, perhaps in a faster way, it's up to us to kind of support that too. Because I guess I felt a little bit of grief too. So it took me about 2 weeks, because my job got made redundant too, and it's not going to come back. So I think it was a 2 week. I didn't think at the time that I would have called it grief, but it probably was, because everything was different. So, you kind of sitting around waiting for the call, waiting for things to, maybe it's not real. And then the week goes by, and then the next week, and you're like, this isn't real. I've really got to just get myself together here and move on. But
have a holiday or something else.
sometimes it takes longer for many people, and especially if I mean, I was probably in a better position, but for the people who are really suffering with families and you know, loss of income and all of that stuff, it's around you every moment. It's very difficult to step out of that grief. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of years coming up. But you know, I think for a greater number of the population now, they will be turning to more energy work, which they're really being drawn to it.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I found with, like, so 2016, my dad passed at the end of 2015 after a long illness, which was not much fun. And then my mum got sick the next year, and I actually moved interstate to care for her. And I feel like I almost had a dress rehearsal for this, because we went into Mum, do you want to leave the house? So we were in social isolation. My big outing was my trip to the supermarket. So, you know, and everyone's like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh yeah, this. Oh, that's right. That's why this is familiar. You know, I'm at home with someone who's cranky. I'm stressed. She's stressed. We can't go out. There's, you know, the supermarkets. It's suddenly exciting. The visitors who come round are stressed. It's like, this.
You've had a rehearsal.
I feel like I've had a practice run, so it's actually not that bad. But I'm also able to go, oh yes, that feeling, and after this amount of time you start to get the cabin fever, and then you get the such and such, and I'm starting to see, the social media posts of their first day of isolation, and they're like, oh yay, it's a holiday, and then there's exercising madly, and then they're starting to get a little bit sick. They're both like the fourth week, people are going crazy. And it's okay. And, you know, if you're trying to run a business and homeschool and do this and do that, and do what you can. Don't do any more, and that's okay.
I think that's the big thing, isn't it? Just do what you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, everything's changed, and you just really can't be pushing yourself, because energetically there's shifts going on as well. So we don't have the stamina or the physical capability on some of these days to do a lot of stuff. It's just even pushing ourselves, we just can't do it. So it's really you've got to hop in the river.
And that pushy masculine, tell it to, you know, because it's not serving. And things like lost my train of thought. Money, right? In business, so everyone's having a panic about money. Well, yeah, and if you're in fear or grief, it has the same effect. It contracts your field, and the money dries up.
Yes.
So they contract some more, and then the money completely goes like And
but then when people say, oh, but when the money comes, I'll feel better. No, it's got to be the other way around.
I'm not, which is, it's hard. It is hard because and that's where, if you've got the understanding of energy and how to use your energy and be able to get into that heart, that love, the heart's expanded space, you are much more likely to be able to get that energy coming back in. And with that, the energy flowing becomes money. And then you're back in the expansion cycle again. And just realize, it's the awareness that actually is a fear, is a grief, it's a thing, and that's okay. But I don't have to say that.
And we've got a beautiful friend of mine, Sherelle, who's in the chat saying she's just had a realization about the grief that's actually moving through her. So it's because she didn't realize that was the block. So that's explained the block. So, you know, that's really brilliant. Good. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't want to say the love and lighters, because I am one, but it says, oh, I can rise above this, and I'm more, and I was like, yeah, no, you've got to acknowledge the humanness and the shittiness and the part of the acceptance and the growth and the it probably is a realignment to something better.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's not uncomfortable, and it doesn't mean that
That's it.
you're going to grieve. But what is amazing and what I find fascinating on a global big picture thing, energy being, or emotions being energy in motion, and when they come up, it's because they're ready to release. How much fear and grief have we transmitted as a global community
Oh
in the
God.
last 2 years?
Yeah, there'd be a lot.
How much have we actually, like, it's going, like, it comes up to go out. So how much of my mind kind of boggles a bit. It would have to be unparalleled. Which is what when you're talking about the amount of the big mass awakening happening. Well, it probably will if everyone's shifting this shit out of their systems.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm just thinking, and there's no smog, so the energy's got a free run. No, it doesn't work like that, but it just flashed through my head. Oh my goodness.
Or was that the smog?
Now, Anna, I've had a beautiful energy session with you, and you do the most incredible work, and you do channel light language, and you channel codes, and you channel healing for people. And it was a really powerful session that that you gave me, and it was life-changing. It really was. So would you like to give us all a little bit of a healing and a clearing of some fear and grief? And it won't matter when people are watching this, so they tune in, even if it's on the replay. If you're listening on the replay, this was still really powerful, because it's, well, you can explain, it's a vibrational thing, isn't it? So you can explain what you do.
So light language, well, I still don't know how to explain it in a lot of regards. So for me, the energy comes in my head and comes out my mouth and out my fingers. And for me, within my experience, it is the least interfered with way to transmit energy from spirit into the 3D. Sometimes the light language is like your soul language. Other times it comes through from spirit or other entities. Each person who does light language has their own blueprint, their own unique things that they're meant to come through, and their own unique codes that they're here to share. And what is amazing is it bypasses our head. Like, we don't need to understand. It's kind of familiar, and there's something often, there could be a bit of this and a bit of that, and you kind of know it, but your heart knows and your higher self knows, and it works interdimensionally, and and just get rid of whatever's needed, and it's something that I'm not, special snowflake. It's something everyone can do. It's just a case of each of us actually connecting with that energy and ability within ourselves at the time that is right for us on our journey. So
absolutely. And from the people who are hearing your language, because it is a language, it's not English, if they can just relax into it, and actually, because you feel it, it's an energy wave you feel in your body, which is really interesting, and it continues to shift. It's just about receiving, isn't it? It's about receiving it, and
And I'll say that if there is one of the powerful things, is it does for each individual what they need. So because it is working in the realms of spirit, for one person it might be clearing something from their heart chakra, for someone else it may come from their base chakra. It depends on who you are and what you need, and it's just a bit of support from spirit that might be needed at the moment. Which
beautiful.
Apparently they said fear and grief, so that's what we'll do.
We'll go with that. They're in charge of that river. Oh, perfect. So what do people need to do? Just sit comfortably and close their eyes?
Close their eyes if you like. Watch me wave my fingers around if you like, or not. Either or, I don't mind.
Because you do things with your hands too and move energy that way. So it is quite fascinating to watch. So yeah.
Either or. And watch it again on replay. If something else comes up, it will work multiple times. So come back, watch the tail end of the video as many times as you like. So,
wonderful.
All right. I will tune in and see what they've got to say for us. Not if they are to put upon the tierra non oscurata. Verono da candie putur da stichiara di conosciuto poem. Era tosto porta da panda da chiara di stichiara tutto porta. Mary tiste piero nostro porta. Nostro ti pura nanaste che ya tosto manata, protosto pura tissimene tierra. Sunata, tiarato, dande stichiara. Nenonosto che monosoparto soporto capire di sicire tante. Umata sacarate soporta simonata rete pocandasi. Surata tapare di sicire soporta mana ayaka. Erano soporta patia caste porti. Nedorto soporto non amatia sacare di cande porta. Sunama tiarato kupur tande ka supohrato supatayarati. Postekar kasapar kisunata sakiata. Kimiti roto sukapata sakari tipuri roto namanai. Irata sakari kisukupurto. Ushupur rapapasaka reti sakande. Adesso patatar, picota sopora, capatessa che adesso poter, ratisto potetiendo socorro. Un batassa carto socorro, sopere ne al socorro stata, e socorro una nasta che era per tutto competenza. Un tassare di socorro, gamba tassa cara, tassa porro, socorro, secondo dopo, era mana tassa tassa. Costichiere, costapata, e porata. Competenza, tanta terra, testura, puro, tostura. Nereti, puro, non lo sa. Neste, spirito, sopposto, sapere, neste terra, un po' attaccati a sotto. Yarde, puro, piccolo, sopporto, onde sta, paro, che sopporta, panda, spirito, sapere, puro, uscita, tarde, super tarde, anda sacate por tu camino si quiero, combata sacate, vamos poco, o testura que kimona se porta, e si anda vero poco onde sto con mena torto, tutti refescamba, guata, gua, tutti corta, pacando, perta, sacata, che prende terzo, indossa, nella cara, tutto corti, si pata, piacerta, cande, poti, si corta. Tutto torto, manati, cande, corta, sacata, era nata, sacata. Tutto corto, con catata, sacata, sicura, manata, seconda, sicura, sacata. Shukanda Parvati, Umadasa, Ustikurana Sata. Umunati. Daste Puta Kata Sabata, Undersukura Tapati and the Hirata. Undamanda, Tapante Kata Sukura, Tambata, Ereta Kunda Sukurato. Yakande Posti Sukurata, Manana Siarati. Ereno Sukura Nataka, Ura Matasai, Shukurata, Amba Sirati. Persona Retesta, Andopo, Undepo, Reti Sukurana. E akaste monate a roto kote urana. Era nasta shuno kote se quiero to sapate una sakare si. Nerana. Supone matiere to. Ayana sokorata ambata zipuna mati.
Thank you. Really calming. Feel a lot of grief coming out. Beautiful. Thank you.
So there was lots of energy coming, clearing, bringing lots of light in, getting rid of what didn't serve.
Getting rid of the old.
Yeah, but if you did just listen to that, water's good. Drink lots of water. And if for any reason anyone feels wonky in the next couple of days, please call me or get in touch, because that's not.
Yeah.
I'm sure they won't, but I just want to.
Yeah.
Here for follow up for any of that. So.
Beautiful. Thank you. But yeah, if people drink a lot of water and just stay grounded, which is really necessary right now anyway. So go and, hug a tree or stand in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's any time you do any shifting of energy. Hydration just supports your body throughout the process.
Yeah, and those some of those fear and grief toxins will actually be flushed out as well. So because they're held in our cell too, so it's flushing it out. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That was so amazing. And just so everybody knows, all of the questions were also given to us by Anna's guides too. So. Yes. So thank you so much for coming and joining us here tonight. And of course, you're one of the Enlightened Changemakers in Holistic Bliss as well. This is week 9 of the series. Here's delightful Anna here. And this month in May, both Anna and I are spotlighted, so you can go. Yeah, so we don't. So it's purely online now. April was the last physical edition. So it's online now, and you can go to holisticbliss.com and have a look at the May issue and check out Anna there. She's got all her details, but I've also got her website here in the description and on the runner. And when we finish up, Anna, you might like to pop in your Facebook page for people to
most neglected Facebook page.
To like you there. But they can see and connect with you and all of your work over your website. Yeah, it's all there. It's a beautiful site. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're so fascinating, and you've given people some shifts already just in our interview. So I know that people watching the replay and over the next few weeks, it's really going to be a you really are an enlightened change maker. So thank you.
Thank you, Trish.
Oh, my pleasure. Any last words you want to say before we wrap it up tonight?
No, just stay happy.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Be good to yourself first.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy to forget. Everyone's thinking about everyone else.
Yeah.
Look after you. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Thank you
Right.
so much, and thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. And I look forward to seeing you next week on TrishRockTV. Bye for now.
Bye.